friends, now we're going to get into how to edit your homepage. So come up here to your pages and go ahead and click home. And I'm going to click on the page tab over here so you can have a better look at exactly what different canvases we have on this page. So as you can see at the top of the page, we have mobile menu closed. So I have that up at the top because I want that at the top of my mobile design. Then we have the logo, which is applied to both mobile and desktop. And one thing I will highlight here is this canvas is only visible on mobile, so that if you click these three little dots here, that's where you will see that option. But if you're just using my design, you shouldn't have to mess with that at all. Here is where you're going to have your logo, and then you're going to have the desktop menu. And so again, this is only visible on desktop because I don't want it showing up on mobile. Okay, so we are going to show you how to edit. I am going to show you how to edit the main banner image, and I'm going to work mostly in desktop just so you can see a little better, and we're going to zoom out just a bit. So as you can see, this is going to be the edge of your design. You can definitely have your graphics go out further. I'm going to revert back, and just a reminder that if you wanted this to go to the very edge of your browser window, you can do that under horizontal lock with size and position, and then horizontal locking here, and that would have this go the full width of the browser window, but I do not have that set up like that. And so for this first image, what I have done is set it up as a gallery. So right now it's just a single image. So if you wanted just a single image, you would come up here to Gallery Images, Manage Images. You can upload your own file here, go through your computer, find it. So then all you would have to do is bring that over, bring it up there, and then delete my image. Or if you want it to be a few images scrolling, you can add more images by just clicking on them and bringing them over here, and then it's going to actually scroll through those images. So right now I have it just set up as a single image if you wanted to update that. And then here you will update your text, and here's the link. Where'd my banner go? There we go. I must have deleted it. Okay, so here is your text for your banner image. You just click on that, update that. Here is where you would set up where you want this button to go. So I have it set up to go to a page. So I would have this go to contact, or you can have it go to services, wherever you want that first call to action to go. If you want to get rid of the call to action, just click on those, press delete, and it will disappear. And then you can just update the box here. You can also add more text if you wanted by clicking on the text icon down here. Next, we have your three services that I have set up here, 3 different options for imagery. And then I have where you can click around to different areas of your site. So the home page I really use as a highlight to all the internal pages. So I have this set up where you can have them go to learn more about you, your services, and then your individual services. So this is a good highlight for different areas of your website that you want to direct people to. And this kind of just highlights those different areas here. One thing I do want to point out is I have page defaulted the hover actions. So what I mean by that is when you hover over this button here, I have it set up as a page default, which is set up through the home page. So when you have the page selected up here, you can come to animation and you can have a page default for the hover actions. So I have it set up that when someone hovers over this button, it's going to show this rust color. So it shows that it's clickable. So you can come over here and actually if you update your colors here, it will go ahead and automatically update that in all of the page defaults. So I would recommend when you are updating your design settings that you use this rust color as a highlight color if you want it to be used as your hover color. So just something to keep in mind when you're changing that. But go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and show you this in preview so you can see what I'm talking about. So here with page default set up, it's going to hover over and it's going to change it to this rust color. But if you wanted to have a customization and then have it different based on each button. You can change this and have it custom and do that under here as well. But right now I just have it set up as page default to keep it easy for you. Okay, so next up we have a full banner image with some text. So for here, if you wanted to change this image background, you would come to Canvas background and click here and go ahead and change that image out. And one thing I have set up here is I have it set up as a parallax. And what that means is that it's going to kind of give some movement to the page. So see how the image kind of scrolls with the page? Well, it doesn't scroll with the page. It kind of stays, and then the other stuff scrolls. I'm so bad at explaining parallax, but you guys can kind of understand that. It adds movement. Instead of scrolling with the page, that's going to keep it in place. There you go. So yeah, again, here's just another call to action button. You can always get rid of this if you don't want. These are kind of a unique styling of paragraphs, but I will say it is a little tricky making sure that you come up with 2 paragraphs that they're exact same number of lines. So if you wanted to get rid of a paragraph, you can just delete that and bring this over, and I would recommend just centering it if you had a little bit more text and you didn't want to deal with the dual paragraph. But just, again, make sure to come over and update it within mobile, because these are going to remain 2 paragraphs within mobile. So just make sure you come over here and you remember to always update mobile. And if you updated the background in desktop here, let me do this. If you update it in desktop, it doesn't necessarily change it in mobile. So say I change this to this guy, this is going to stay the same. So you have to go and update both of them, because Showit really likes to give you a lot of control over both desktop and mobile. So you can actually use a more horizontal or a more vertical image in mobile. So that's just something to keep in mind, that you definitely need to update both. And my computer is being slow. Okay, so just keep scrolling down the page when it comes to editing the different elements here. This is your form. So here I have it set up where the first name and email address are not clickable. They are text properties. They are set up as a contact form. So here you can enable input. I have this set as required, so you can see a little asterisk there, so it's required. And this is going to allow people to enter in their information, and I actually have it labeled as name and email, so when you get the email with their information, it'll tell you what each thing is. And I have this set up as the submit button, and so you come over here to click actions, and all of this is already set up. So I did go over this in more detail in the beginner's tutorial, but I just wouldn't mess with this. This could bring someone to the next Canvas, so then they can know that they've submitted the form. And then this is also going to submit the contact form, so you want to make sure that's selected. But yeah, again, if you just don't want to mess with it, this is all figured out for you. And when you come back over here to page and you come to your different layers here, this is set up as the view 1. So this is the first view that someone's going to get when they come scroll over this page. But when they submit that form to get your free resource, this is going to pop up for them. So then they can either download the resource or you can direct them somewhere else. But this is so someone knows that they have submitted the form correctly. So you definitely want to have both views so that they know that the information they have entered and submitted is going to you, and they can take another action here, whatever you want them to be. If you want them to download the free resource here or add them to a list, whatever you want them to do, that is how we have set up the contact form. And if you ever want to reuse and repurpose this contact form because you don't want to mess with all of the settings on it, an easy way to reuse this is to come over here, click on those 3 dots and click either duplicate if you want to keep it on the page, or you can copy it. You can copy this and you can bring it over. So come back over to your site, click on about, come over here, click on page, these little 3 dots up here, and you can paste resources right on your page, and it's gonna bring it down to the bottom here, and you can just drag and drop this wherever you want. So that is how I would recommend if it's a kind of more complicated canvas, just duplicate what I've already created, and it's going to duplicate the mobile settings as well. So that's all set up in mobile too for you. So if you want to just come and just edit the content, the image, that's a lot easier than trying to redo this yourself. Just something to keep in mind. Okay, let's get back to home if this is going to let me. Okay. Okay, next, here's another example of a canvas that has multiple views, and this is for testimonials. This is great for adding multiple testimonials so someone can slide through them. So once we come back over here to our page, and we're gonna click on the reviews canvas here. So I have this set up as 3 different views. So view 1 is the first testimonial, view 2 is the second one, and view 3 is the third. And then I have this as the trigger that's going to scroll that canvas to the next view. So that's how you really set these up, is you have to have either something that you click on that's going to show the next view, or you can actually have it automatically happen as well. But mostly I have some sort of trigger that the user is going to have to click on, and then you're going to see the next view. So we can go ahead and preview just how that works, just so you can see. There it is. So yeah, so these little buttons, go ahead and click to let the user scroll through multiple testimonials. So when you want to come in here and update those, just have to click on the different views over here to the left, copy and paste your other testimonial, and be sure to update the name and you know, what business they work for. Okay, so next up we have the featured blog post. Now this has to be entered manually. This isn't going to come be pulled directly in WordPress. So what I usually do is just pull 2 of my favorite blog posts that kind of did the best and had the most engagement, and I bring in the feature image. Just go ahead and add that in through your media library, update this to be the title, bring in a little bit of copy, and then this links to that direct blog post. So that should be a URL. So you're just going to enter in the URL of that blog post. So this is once your site is live. And then if you don't have a blog, you can easily get rid of this section by you can cut it, and that's just going to get rid of it on the page. If you want to keep it if you're working on a blog, you're working on the content, if you want to keep it for a later time, I would recommend just hiding it. Hide it from desktop and hide it from mobile. So yeah, you can see here it's not visible, and now it's going to be hidden on both, but you still have it there so you can work on it later. So I actually do this a lot when I'm still working on stuff. You know, I'm not ready to publish it yet. You can just hide it, and then when you're ready, you can just show it off like that, and then you can edit it. So that's one other tool that you can use. Lastly, again, here's just a full width banner image here. So you can just come over here to Canvas background and update that. And again, just edit the content by just clicking on it. If you wanted to change the color of a rectangle, you just come over here and edit that here. You can enter in even your own hex code if it's not within your color palette. So yeah, that is how you edit the different elements of the home page. I'm just scrolling through to make sure I have everything, and I think I covered it all. Okay, so there really shouldn't be any other surprises when it comes to editing the internal pages, but I'll just go ahead and run through them really quickly and just see if anything pops out to me that you guys should know. But let's go ahead and go to your About page here. And again, I've gone over, how to edit the Canvas background, and I just want to reiterate that you just want to make sure that you edit both mobile and desktop to be sure that everything is getting styled correctly, and that you're not just adding an image and it's just going to get plopped here. So I just want to show you really quickly what it looks like when you add a new image to a canvas, and it's going to just kind of plop on the page. And so there are a few ways of editing the image once it gets to the canvas. So one of the ways is you can just go ahead, and this is probably the easiest and quickest way, is drag and drop it and get it aligned with the existing image. Another way, if you want to, if you're really particular on details and getting it exactly right to where I had it, you can actually click on my original image here. Let's move this guy out of the way. Click on the original image here. Go up here to size and position, and just go ahead and write down these four numbers here. So the width, the height, the X, and the Y. So the width is going to be, how wide it is, and the height. The X is going to be where it falls horizontally, and the Y is going to be where it falls vertically. So I have this kind of off the grid a little bit. And so if you wanted this image to be in that exact same spot, I would document that this is -52 and 55, -52 and 55. So that'll be the exact same spot. But as you can see over here on mobile, it kind of was just plopped on the page. So you want to make sure that you come over here to the mobile and update that as well. Okay, and you can just, use these little toggles if you want to just do it quickly, which is usually what I do, even though I should be more particular. So here on the About page, there really should be nothing that surprises you. I will mention that these images here are horizontally locked, so they stay to the far edge of the page. So let's go ahead and preview that just so you can get an idea of how that works. So they're going to stick to the left side here. Left and right side. And if you didn't want that, you just go ahead and click that off and it will stay where they are. Okay, so that's the About page. There really isn't much here that's too complicated that I don't think you guys can handle. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the Services page. Again, these I don't have horizontally locked, so we can go ahead and preview that and see how that looks. So as you can see, these just kind of go towards a little bit off of where the site ends in the design, but you can see how there's still some room on the left and right side of them. Here we have just different ways you can highlight your services. We have another full width banner image here. Let's so you can see better. I just changed that by going to the canvas background, and I have it set up as a parallax. And then I went over this in the beginner tutorial, but based on the image, you can actually control where that image is showing. So right now I have the middle center, and that's going to be default, or you can have it set up to the top left. You can have it set up middle left. So whatever image that you upload, you can play around with that and see where you like it best for your text. And say this was a little bit busier of an image. Let's go ahead and show you an example here. We'll do this one. We'll see how long it takes to load. So as you can see, it's kind of hard to read the text because this is a little bit more busy of an image. So what I would recommend is you add an opacity over here, a color opacity. So go ahead and you can click the color, you can click whatever color you want. I usually stick with black. And then you can change the opacity here. So let's maybe bring that down to 60. And as you can see now, you can see that white text a little bit better. So that's just an option for when you are adding different imagery and making sure that you can read that text. Here's another scrolling testimonial. And I have this kind of on all of the pages is just kind of like a let's work together and just kind of driving the user to book a call. You can have this link to your contact page, or you can have it linked to something like Calendly, which I use, so you can get people to schedule calls with you and really get them in your books. Let's go to coaching. So now I have this labeled as coaching, but this really works as a single service highlight page. So you have all your services highlighted here. Now this could be just a single service highlighted. So for example, I have multiple design services. This could be like my exclusive brand package page. So here you can bring in images that align with that. And you can highlight different areas here, the different steps for what happens within that service. You can enter in text that really speaks to your audience. So when I was designing this site, I really wanted to provide you with text that's going to help you with coming up with your own content. So this is going to give you ideas for writing content that's going to really speak to your audience and just kind of grab their attention. So that's why I kind of came up with some of these different content blocks, so you could really use this as a framework for what you come up with. And highlight different areas of what's includes. Again, I have testimonials. These are really great to have on your pages to really show your audience, social proof that your products work. And again, just another area to highlight, book a call. This could also be a great place to put a free resource. Highlight that as well. Here we have the reviews page, so you can add all your reviews and testimonials here. And what I did here was I added some different styles of testimonials, so you can either have just the text and the client's name, or you can actually add their image, which people like to see the images. So if you wanted to repurpose this style, you can just come up here and click duplicate, and it's going to pop down right there for you. And if you ever need to move canvases, I know you've seen me do this, but just to reiterate, you just move them around and it will layer them how you need it to be on the page. And if you wanted to get rid of it, just cut it. Okay, moving along quickly here. FAQs is really just set up as a text-based page. So you just come in here and you can add in some frequently asked questions, and provide some additional information for your user, which is really great for avoiding a lot of emails to you that could have been answered just with an FAQ page. Terms is just your terms page where you're just going to add in any legal content here. And then your contact page. So again, this is set up as a form. So I have it all set up for you. So if you just want to enter in your own information here and not mess with it, you can. If you wanted to add another form field here, I would recommend expanding the canvas. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to duplicate this entire page so I can edit this without messing up my original design. Come over here. This is great for if you wanted to make changes to a page and you wanted to keep that original design. I highly recommend just duplicating it. It makes your life a lot easier. You can always delete it later, and this page isn't even linked right now, so you just want to make sure that you update the links and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and edit this new contact page so you can see how to add more form fields if you need. So over here, there's a little toggle for expanding the height of the canvas, so you can go ahead and expand that so it's wider. And I always just use my mouse tool to highlight different areas, but you can always highlight the different elements over here in your layers panel. And go ahead and bring that down. I'm going to click these two, copy and paste. So you can just do command, or I don't know what it is on a PC, but just copy, paste, however you do that on your computer, and you can just go ahead and drag that down. I don't know, what's another good question? What are you struggling with most? Whatever question you want to add there. All right, so I've added that there. Looks like it's aligned. You can always come over here and make sure everything is lined up correctly by clicking distribute. And I'm just going to bring this back up. Now I got to make sure that I come over here and edit mobile, because it's not going to be styled the same way. Okay, there it is. Bring this back up. Bring this up so it's aligned. That looks good to me. Bring it up. Okay, so now we just added another question. So in terms of the actual settings on this, the only thing that you really would need to change, as long as you're copying and pasting what I've already done, come over to text properties. Enable input should definitely be selected here so people can enter in their own text. And the only thing you would need to do is if you wanted this to be required. You also would want to maybe change the label to struggle, whatever you want to label it, so you know what that person is answering. Another thing that I will highlight here that's really important is these, which I actually need to fix this. These need to be stacked on top of each other, which I will have done. Because you want someone, when you think about it, you want someone to be able to shift down to the next item. So you want those stacked. So we're gonna preview that and make sure that works. You can actually test this. So yeah, when they hit tab, which I think is just kind of, you're just used to that when you're filling out a form, they will go to the next section there. All right, and then you can click submit, and then that's going to bring them to the next canvas view where I have them going. So you can see over here, if you wanted to edit this, it's in the canvas view, thank you. And you can add in your own Instagram handle here. And so that way they have something to do once they've submitted the contact form. Okay, so that's how you edit all of your pages up here. Next, we're going to get into how to edit all of your blog pages.